And welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I see Mumsy's in the house and Chalet is in the house. If you're here watching, please put a little hello in the chat so I can welcome you. Meanwhile, I am putting on my handy dandy kissing potion, cherry flavored, original from the 70s. Still just below half now. So I've got some news. Half of it. Hey, Frugal is in the house. Oh, thank you so much for the flower and sunshine and candy emojis. About half of the stories are going to be about the recent border conflict, because that's most of what the news was about. Don't know. Oh, yes. And that is Tammy in the house. Don't know where. I can't see the whole name. I only see don't know W is all I see. Don't know where I'm going next, I think is what it is. I did add her into the description. So if you want to check out her channel, Frugal has a channel and Chalet has a channel. They are all in the description. Yeah. So let's get started. And lots of news to cover. Like I said, the first half, we'll get it out of the way, the border conflict, because this past week, that was most of the news stories. There were a few crime stories that I was able to find, and so that's the other half. You're welcome. So, yeah, and I only put, it's not actually a link, but it's the at, like my YouTube channel is at the Maven 2017. So it's the ats, and in parentheses, I put a little bit of what the channel's about. So you can know if it fits your interests or not, and check them out. So first up, we have Thai forces bomb Priya Vihar temple with MK-82 bombs and artillery shells, says the CMAC Director General. That is like the mine clearance organization. So I'm just doing a couple of highlights. So Priya Vihar temple is an ancient temple, just like Angkor Wat. And here's, I think there's some damage here. This is a chunk that is missing. They dropped from the air on Priya Vihar. It was the airplanes, I think, that dropped the bombs. They also used the cluster munitions. Yeah. Is that the only pictures? Okay. So yeah, not nice. I have a Cambodian friend who I was doing some private tutoring with him, but now we just kind of do, like, he asks me questions. He'll send me messages on Telegram asking me questions about how to say something in English. And this week he was asking me about how to say that if you're not fighting to win, but you're just fighting, like, to destroy things. And so that is kind of the Cambodian attitude of what's going on, or what was going on. This was before the ceasefire. Next up. Oh, okay. So there was a huge blood donation center. They used a convention center to set up blood donations, and Cambodians, thousands of Cambodians came to donate blood. Over 2,000 units of blood were donated. And this is actually pretty good for Cambodia, because when I first came here 18 years ago, Cambodians were afraid to give blood. They didn't, I mean, it wasn't part of the culture. In the West, it's like a huge thing, that it's a normal thing to give blood. But it wasn't here in Cambodia. And now people are more open to donating blood. In fact, I had a friend that was in the hospital and had O negative blood, blood that he needed. And so there's like this network of blood donors, and the call went out. And what was really interesting is that we're so used to in the West that you just go donate your blood, it gets put in a refrigerator, it gets transported wherever it needs to go. And it's kind of like, if somebody that needs blood, it's more of a credit system, right? So you can donate any blood type, and then it will be credited to the person that needs it, and they will get their blood type. Well, what happened is the blood bank part was empty. They didn't have any O negative. So the people that came and donated blood, the bags of blood literally went directly to the hospital to him. And that was pretty interesting. You just saw they broke the ceasefire. They broke the ceasefire. Yeah, the news coming out of Thailand has been saying that since was it midnight yesterday that the ceasefire was called, and it's not being reported in Cambodia that way. I don't think there is a break in the ceasefire, because we would definitely be hearing about it here. Let me see if there's like something new. No. In fact, I'm gonna show you a story about the international delegation that is going to the borders to monitor the ceasefire. But yes, the news out of Thailand has been saying that Cambodia was breaking the ceasefire, and I don't think there's shots from either side, even though that's what they're reporting. So you have to be really careful with the international news. Most of the international news is coming from the Thailand side rather than the Cambodian side. So there's that. And here is the story of July 29th. Okay, so it was just, it's 9 p.m. for me right now in Cambodia. So it was just this past midnight. So today was the first day of ceasefire. And there's the picture. This is the Malaysian prime minister, who is right now the ASEAN, which is kind of like in Europe, they have the European Union, the EU. There's 12 right now. There's 12 countries that are part of ASEAN. There's a few more that are wanting to join, but right now there's 12. And so every year, one of the 12 countries is the host of ASEAN. So this year, Malaysia is the host of ASEAN. So as such, the Malaysian prime minister held the ceasefire talks. This is the Cambodian prime minister on the left, and the acting Thai prime minister on the right. And China and the US were also there to be part of the talks. So now that there's a ceasefire, CMAC, I mentioned the mine clearing, has launched an emergency response to clear UXOs. So you got to realize that when all these bombs and things are being shot, they don't always explode. And so now the countryside is littered with unexploded ordnance, whether it's bombs dropped from planes or bombs out of rocket launchers, whatever form the munitions were used, they're scattered all over, and they didn't always explode. And Cambodia, I mean, you got to realize, well, let's see, there was fighting in the 60s. There was fighting in the 70s. There was fighting in the 80s. So they had 3 decades really of fighting. And we are still clearing unexploded ordinances. Even from the Vietnam War, there's, unexploded ordinances that come there. Like, let's say a plane, the American planes drop bombs, and it from the airplane, it goes into the ground and it doesn't explode, but now it's deep in the ground. And over time, with different rains and things like this, then they start working their way up and getting closer to the top. And then somebody wants to farm or do construction. And when they're digging, they come across, a bomb. And so, I mean, we're still, and now there's new stuff, sad. Here's the military attaches, but also diplomats that were visiting the front line in Preah province. I think this was a pagoda. I'm not sure. And so since this was in pictures, that's the U.S. military there. Red and white flag. Was that Indonesia? Red and white. If anybody knows that flag, you can tell me. Yeah, that looks like part of a pagoda. Those guys look scary. Taking smiling pictures. I wonder if that's Helen Jarvis, a friend of mine. Right? Oh, lighting candles and incense. Wow. Ah, these guys are the press. All right. Nice photography. These are homes, civilian homes. In Australia. Thai and the press. Yeah, great photography. Cambodian news station. Of course, the people have all been evacuated. Hundreds of thousands of people have been evacuated from the border on both sides. So about 500,000 people. Okay, that's it. Hey, traveling fools in the house. Why would the Aussies be there? because it was an international delegation, so not just one country, they're all joining so that it's a multinational. Nobody's saying it's like, the Thais are saying one thing, the Cambodians are saying one thing. No, it's international to look at the damage and look at the ceasefire, see if there's no fighting going on. They're both sides are observing the ceasefire. Didn't want to be rude about what? Oh, you wanted to be here yesterday and you got an important phone call. Okay. Well, that explains that. We really missed you. Pip, pip, toot, toot. Okay. Next up. Okay, so this is the last one about the border conflict. This is in the news. The Prime Minister lightens the mood amid ceasefire, says peace more important than gray hair. So over the last 5 days, his hair started turning gray. And we've seen that with other world leaders, where one day their hair is fine, and then a crisis happens and their hair turns gray. But he said that peace is more important than his gray hair. See if I get it. Let me share a little lighthearted thought with you. Now that the frontline situation has eased following the ceasefire at midnight, in line with the agreement between Cambodia and Thailand at the special meeting in Malaysia, I said my mind is not with my gray hair right now. All my attention these days has been tied to major responsibilities. He goes on to list some of the responsibilities. The sooner the fighting stops, the sooner displaced civilians can return to their homes and resume their livelihoods. In such a difficult time for our nation and people, looking a little older due to gray hair is a small matter. Even if I did look a bit older and feel a bit weaker than I did 10 years ago, my inner strength to confront and solve the problems is still just as strong. So there's that. So, well, this is more in line with the crime. It is a little bit about the border conflict, but the criminals end up going to prison. And there was a prison in the Odar Menche province. And so not only were civilians fleeing, the inmates were also being transferred to other prisons. So they were looking out for inmate safety. So that was good. Now, this was strange. Traffic law enforcement is suspended amid the border conflict. So it's still suspended. They are the traffic police. We have designated police that are just for traffic, and they wear blue. And then we have other police that follow up on crime, right? So here's a traffic police officer who's directing traffic. So that's the only thing they're doing right now. They're not pulling people over for their license plates, for their helmets, for drunk driving, whatever. They're not enforcing traffic laws. They're only directing traffic to make sure that everybody, everything's moving. Nice bus. Oh, for the inmates, yeah. Hey, Gibbo in house. He just got here. Start again. No, you'll have to watch the replay for the first half. So next up, Kampong Cham governor visits rice noodle poisoning victims at a hospital. So here's the rice noodle poisoning victims. Let's see if we can find out what happened. 59 cases, but only 21 individuals sought treatment at the hospital. Most of those who consumed the contaminated noodles have since recovered, though a few continue to receive treatment. So here they are getting an IV and being monitored in the hospital. Pretty much Yeah, so you've got this metal hospital bed with just a mat on it. Hospitals don't provide food. Your family brings your food. If you don't have family here, then your friends will rally and help you. So let's see. They purchased the noodles from village sellers who had obtained them for resale from a producer in the area. The patient said that the noodles were bought from the local sellers in different places. Many of them sought emergency medical attention after feeling symptoms including exhaustion, vomiting, diarrhea, which are obvious signs of food poisoning about 2 hours after they ate the noodles. Afternoon, ladies. Okay. Publisher sues police officials over persecution claims. Now, there are a lot of cases where reporters end up in trouble, but it's not because they were necessary. They weren't like this guy. All right. These other reporters will tend to uncover criminal activity and then go to the person and try to extort them to not write the story. Okay. Whereas like journalistic persecution is when you are writing the story, not when you're extorting the criminal to not write the story. But this guy was trying to write about some police officers, and let's see exactly what happened. He's alleging that they persecuted, threatened, and unlawfully detained him after he reported police misconduct. So the article he published is the case of somebody named Jung Sarat, who accused Pisset, a colonel, and others of falsifying a police report about a violent incident. And so Ta Trang is the publisher. He said that he was summoned for questioning, and then he was illegally detained overnight in a steel cage. And so the police that detained him were saying that he was inciting, incitement and defamation. A complaint filed by a businessman. And he suspected that this detention was a form of revenge for reporting the police misconduct. He was released the next day. And so Minister Soka, who's that? Is that the Minister of Interior, Sar Soka? Okay. So he asked the Minister of Interior to conduct an investigation and take action against these police officers. So there you go. See how that plays out. Have you heard about the bird? The bird's the word. The bird. Yes, there is a bird flu, up to 14. Normally, I include the bird flu stories. And today I skipped over it. But yes, there is one more case of bird flu, and it brings the total up to 14. This is true. And we have a man arrested for trying to strangle an ex-wife. So this is only the real, like, serious crime. This is the guy. So he's a jealous former husband. So he tried to knock off his former wife after what he thought was a long mobile conversation with her current husband that disrupted their post-dinner, I can never pronounce this right, tete-a-tete or whatever, at a park. So the wife is having dinner with her ex. And while they're having dinner, Her current husband calls. That makes him jealous. What a mess. What a mess. They've been divorced for more than 3 years, and divorce isn't common in Cambodia. Yeah, obviously it happens. It's not so common. He said on the night of the incident, the suspect, who still loved his former wife, invited her over mobile phone to a dinner at a restaurant. It's funny that like that detail has to be included. You can't just say he invited her to dinner. He used his mobile phone to invite her to dinner. After the meal, the suspect brought her to a park to chat about their lives and work. Now, it would only make sense like if they had joint custody of their children or something, and they had to discuss issues, but it doesn't say that. Their conversation was interrupted by a mobile call from the new husband, who asked her whereabouts and who she was with. She did not hide the truth from her husband, who stretched the conversation, causing the suspect to be outraged with her. He was outraged. He was jealous because she has a new partner. He grabbed her by the neck in an attempt to throttle her until she lost consciousness. Thinking that she was dead, he fled on his motorbike. A scavenger who saw the man flee and saw the unconscious woman alerted the police. So they rescued her, sent her to a healthcare center for treatment. She survived the attempt on her life. And he has been arrested, faces a prison term of 10 to 15 years if convicted. What's what password? Maven is suppressing the bird flu pandemic. She's been compromised. Bird on a wire. Oh, you guys are having so much fun. The bird's the word. We must know if you've been cloned. Oh no, I have to have a safety word that I can say. You guys, you're getting worried, Chalet? I'm keeping the catnip. No catnip for you. I'm keeping it all for myself. Houston, we have a problem. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you guys are having so much fun over there. Okay, next up, a teacher is under probe over demanding nude photos. I've not read the story, but I saw the headline, so I grabbed it. So a teacher at this high school has been accused of asking a female student for nude pictures in exchange for good grades. The teacher's name has not been disclosed. He used social media to pressure the student into sending inappropriate images, promising favorable academic outcomes in return. School management has already summoned the teacher for questioning. The matter is now under review and further action is being considered. So the police, it looks like, aren't involved in this at this point, but the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Sports are doing the investigation. So a full meeting between the student and teacher has not yet taken place. The case only came to the school's attention on Tuesday, despite the incident being shared on social media on Monday night. A meeting with local authorities and stakeholders, that's Cambodian language, was held, is due to the NGO stuff, was held on Wednesday, but no official report has been released as the investigation is ongoing. So when they say local authorities, they're not talking about the police. They're talking about like probably the commune chief. And so if you think about how, like in America, you have a mayor of a city, right? And then you have the city council, and you have that city administration. Well, here in Cambodia, the governor of the province would be like the mayor for that whole province. And then each city and then village and everything, there's like this hierarchy kind of thing that goes, has this administrative role. And so one of the things they do is handle disputes so that it's outside of, it's mediation. It's a form of mediation. which good is good. It works. And so the executive director of an NGO called Action pour les Enfants, Apple, which is very active in sexual crimes, stated that coercing children to share provocative images is a clear form of online exploitation. Yeah. So busted. Good. I hope he gets the book thrown at him. Oh my goodness. What is all this? Who's on a trip? I gotta scroll back. What? Oh, Chani. Yeah. Chani is in Siem Reap. She planted rose bushes lately. No, but the 2 rose bushes that we have are still alive. She was on a trip. Tripping out. Pot, kettle, black, Cambodian crime, more like Maven commits crime in Cambodia. Strange coincidences. If she's planning a trip herself soon. Oh, I'm planning a trip. Yes. She won't be there when they dig up the roses. Uh-oh. Not the roses. It's always the roses. Okay. You guys are feisty tonight. It's good. And this is the last one I have for you guys tonight. Rangers receive satellite imagery training to boost forest monitoring and law enforcement in protected areas. So I thought this was nice. The Rangers, they help with enforcing illegal logging and wildlife crimes, such as like snares and things that people do to catch wildlife. So yeah, wildlife and the environment, which is pretty much logging. There are some, like there's a yellow vine. It's literally called yellow vine in Khmer, and it's used to make ecstasy, I think. I mean, it's one of the precursors, it's one of the ingredients. MDMA or something, right? Is ecstasy, and I think it's that yellow vine. And I'm not sure that it's illegal for medicinal purposes or something, traditional medicinal purposes. I think you're allowed to, Cambodians are allowed to have some of this yellow vine. But if there was like, kind of like a pot farm kind of large plantation of yellow vine being cultivated, then they would probably crack down on that too. Ask Alfred Hitchcock. Yes, I'm going to see my mom. I'm off to see the mumsy. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Looking at life insurance policies. I do have a emergency insurance. It's like $80 a year or something. So if there was a car accident or something like that and I needed to be airlifted someplace, it would cover all of that. And within that, if I die, then it's like $10,000 or something, which is more than enough. I think when my friend Bob died, the expenses were about $2,000. It's always a motive. Yeah, Mumsy's very excited for me to visit. Gibbo says he used to make ecstasy. It all makes sense now. And I needed extra spending money. Rave times as traveling fools. Yeah, there's not much of a rave culture here in Cambodia. I mean, there was a little bit. In fact, there was some kind of big international rave that would be like in Russia and then like Ibiza and whatever. They'd go to different locations. And, so they were setting up to have this festival on a beach. I don't know if it was on an island or on the coast. I'm not sure, but it was on a beach. And they got all the permissions and everything to have this festival. But then on their website, they talk about all the debauchery, promoting all the debauchery. Come to the next festival. It's in Cambodia and we're going to have all this debauchery. Right. And since that was publicly on their website and then the government saw it, they canceled everything. Justice for Chani. Yeah, I love people with a sense of humor. You guys are great. Mumsy says you're teasing. Yeah. This has been a whole comedy routine. You have to scroll back and look later. Don't turn this on me, Maven. We sussed you out. You're staying on the topic of crime. Yeah. So normally, I mean, it's like we go an hour through all the stories, but we're done. Khmer Times just didn't do the crime beat while all the border conflict stuff was happening. I don't know if they like reassigned the journalist that normally does the crime beat, if he was out on the front lines or something and helping with all of the border stories. Because I find it hard to believe that crime stopped. Maybe crime was lower. Maybe everybody was like just chilling and like thinking about the border conflict and not engaging in criminal activity. I don't know. It's always the innocent looking one. Where was I on 11/11/11? Probably in Cambodia, November 11th, 2011. Well, I moved here in 2007. And so, yeah, the innocent looking ones. The laughs keep us going. So that's all I got for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about what's going on here in Cambodia. Wherever it was your birthday the next day. Oh, cool. I bet they aren't even my cats. Of course they're my cats. Playing innocent now, are we? So, well, guys, I guess we can wrap it up. Yeah, like no way she has that many cats. Who has 8 cats? 9 if you count Mango, and 10 in the house right now if you count Cashew, which I'm like babysitting for someone. They told me they're coming in November. First it was like September, like while I was, and he was like, okay, they're going to come while I'm gone. But then it's like, no, we're going to wait till October so that you're back. I'm like, oh, okay. And now it's pushed back to November. It's really disruptive with my cats, but it's like I promised I would help take care of this cat until they could come and get it. And so I'm doing it. You have the audio for the 911 call for Idaho 4. Oh, for Devil's Den in your video section. So Gibbo is, I'll be frank, his channel is listed in the description. So if you're into true crime and this new Devil's Den homicide, it's, I guess, a family was out hiking or camping, and the mother and father died, and the kids made it out, and they're looking for the person that killed them. What's one more cat? I know. What's one more? Channy is going to be busy with the cats, yes, and best to keep her around. I know. She was so sweet. I'll read you some of the messages. But wait, just in case anybody needs to go and doesn't care about the Channy messages, I want to remind you that love transcends time and space. So wherever and whenever you're hearing this, I love you. I do. And thank you so much for spending time with me. But, okay, she was so sweet. Oh, I see the notification for your Devil's Den right now as well. So she sent me some messages on Telegram. Oops, that's not Channy. Where's Channy? Here's Channy. Because I have to read it. She's like, because I was worrying about her and making sure she got there okay and stuff. She says, okay, thank you so much for worrying about me. I am very lucky to know the luckiest person. Today you have nothing to eat, nothing to eat. You don't know how to cook. I pretend to make you forget the dog. She's going to send me some money so that I can get food delivered so that I don't have to cook anything. You have nothing to eat. You don't know how to cook. It's I'm the one who taught her to cook. Okay. I know I was a chef. I know how to cook, but when with her, like you're saying, how dare you not care? Yeah. Well, some people might not care. Yeah. So best to keep her around. That was your comment. We need proof of life. Exactly. That's what I kept. She's sending me a picture of looking out the window or this or that. And I'm no, show me you. I want to see you, not out the window, piece of hair or something. Yeah, I got to keep some DNA for matching if ever needed, right? See how we waited to the end before mentioning my video, specific person. Oh, Chalet's going to go on a trip. Go on a trip to California for September 13th and meet me. Tammy says, nice catching you live. Fun and informative live stream. Dipping out now. Take care. And an emoji that I don't see, but it says person turquoise waving. Okay, bye, Tammy. Thanks for joining. Traveling Fool says, this is sounding more suspect by the second. So she sent me $20 so that I could get food, so that I get food delivered, so that I don't have to cook. However, we do have some chicken, and we have some food that we need to eat or it's going to go bad. So I have to eat it. Anyway, that's that. Angie even paid to get out of there. She has no food. She can't cook. You'd leave too. I fooled you. Can't fool a fool. Piggy, get out of there. Piggy is intimidating baby. Get. There we go. All righty. Well, tomorrow, so I have to make a new game for tomorrow. Should be okay. I only have, I've got one class in the morning and then I've got the evening class, but I don't have anything in the middle. So I should be able to make a game for tomorrow. If not, then, I'm not going to push myself too much. So if not, then we'll just find something on the internet to play and then we'll have fun. Okay. So I hope to see you guys all tomorrow for some kind of game. Thanks for letting us goof around. Of course, Chalet. I think that's great. I'm so glad you did. And so same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow, wherever you are. And love you all. Until then, catch you later.